RBI guidelines in January 2006 allowed for the appointment of non-bank business correspondents as agents for the delivery of financial services outside bank branches. The business correspondent model is a type of branchless banking where business correspondents act as an intermediary between the customer and the bank. And one of the first platforms that married this with technology was the biometric smart card by Financial Inclusion Network in Operations, or Fino. Incubated at ICICI Bank but now an independent entity with various stakeholders, Fino since 2007 has acquired a customer base of 10 million.
Business correspondent allowed banks to do was to change their processes from being again paper-based and cumbersome to a process which was paperless and in tune with the end customer, who was typically illiterate and does not understand complex processes. This simplicity that the business correspondents adopted has also resulted in a fast uptake of this model.
And what will continue to drive this model is its economics. For instance, a transaction costs $1 at a bank, 40 cents at an ATM and 10 cents at a business correspondent. Realizing the importance of this alternative channel, the Reserve Bank earlier this year cleared the way for interoperability of business correspondents. This would make transactions via business correspondents bank agnostic, much in the same way that customers can withdraw money from any ATM.
Through use of technology, one would be able to really access the customers either via the low-cost ATMs or the telephones or biometric cards, and you don't really have to necessarily rely on branches to access the customers. Then secondly, how does the cost come down? That is, if you enable a whole lot of remittances through the phone, a whole lot of disbursement of small amount of loans, etc., through using technology, then you bring down the costs of transactions substantially. And finally, actually, as you open the financial inclusion accounts, then you can really, over a period, use technology to kind of trace or build a credit history for a customer.
And directly related to tracking customer history is the flagship program of the government, Aadhaar. The usage of biometric smart cards for unique user identification will help in instant identity verification, track credit history of consumers and improve service delivery, and do it at an affordable cost.
The whole purpose of this is, the whole theme of inclusive growth and making sure that the people who are underserved, underprivileged, marginalized, the poor are also able to participate in the economic growth that we have. And we found that for many of them, lack of solid proof of identity is a huge source of barrier. The reason is that the poor don't have the documentation that you and I have. They often don't have birth certificates.
Sure.
They've not gone to school, so they don't have a school certificate. They don't have an address. There are 75 million homeless in this country who don't have an address. And when you don't have a proof of identity and you don't have proof of address, then you're shut out of everything. You can't get a ration card, you can't get a bank account, you can't get a kerosene, you can't get a mobile phone. So these poor people have been shut out for the simple reason that they can't identify themselves. Person has a UID, then that is equal to a KYC for a no-frills account. Similarly, if somebody has a UID, then that is sufficient to get a mobile phone.
Mobile phone, yeah.
And there are other innovations as well. The National Payments Corporation of India has created the Interbank Mobile Payment Service.